Well, it's not every day I get to work on snowmobiles in my living room, so when I do and it's 20 degrees outside, I enjoy it. Here it is, a Mini Z 1999 or 2000. I haven't actually found that out yet, but I picked this little guy up for $700, and it's actually in really good shape. However, the video today is going to be putting this thing back together again. This is what we're dealing with. We got parts and pieces just hanging out, all the bolts, hopefully. Not sure if we have everything we need, but we got to throw this all back together again. We got to find a gas tank. There's a lot of little things we got to do with this thing, but the owner swears all the pieces are here to get this thing running and that it ran fine before I bought it. So we're going to test that out today and make sure we got a nice little ripper. My plan, and of course I'm not going to post this till probably after Christmas, because I plan on giving this to my 3 nephews so that they can enjoy riding and they can get used to riding and, you know, start them young. When one outgrows it, the next one will own it, and so on and so forth. And they'll all get to enjoy it together, and it'll be a great time. So let's get started on this thing. So this little guy has a Honda GX 120cc motor on it. I think a lot of the early 2000s had these same motors. Pretty much these machines were just a hodgepodge of parts they had laying around. They just threw little weed whacker motors on it just to make them kid friendly, you know. Everything is stock as far as I see. There's a lot of like little kits you can put and soup them up, but not really too familiar with these motors, but they're very simple. What I'm seeing here is this is supposed to go probably like this. Yeah, so that's about right. Carburetor is going to be on this side. Here's our carburetor. We're going to do a quick little clean on this thing. We got our bolts. These are the bolts that are attached. Going to attach the carburetor. Here's a spacer of sorts, which I also noticed down here. I think this is going to go onto the carburetor somewhere, maybe on the other side, so that these long bolts can attach without any free play. Normally these come with an airbox. There's no airbox on this thing, so I think that's like the airbox delete setup or something. Gonna have to again find a gas tank for it, but that's no issue. Probably rip it off one of my other toys, probably weed whacker or something. First we will start by cleaning this little baby carb. Get our carb cleaning bucket here. Ooh, drop that a little hard. Oh, there's the old MXZ, and got the VMAX in the background. Clean the carb right here with some proper ventilation. I've lost too many brain cells over the years. This is a Kaihin Japanese little mini carburetor. I think these were stock. I'm not sure about that, but seems like something they would do. Start with the bowl on the bottom. That came off real easy. I'm not seeing any signs that somebody took this apart, which is kind of a good thing. Okay, not bad, not bad. Take our pin out here. Everything I'm going to drop into our little glass jar here so we can throw some carb cleaner on it. Float looks good. Our little plastic needle looks good. I'm not going to put that in carb cleaner. You take out our jet here. That looks clean. You can't see it, but it looks clean. Gasket's in good shape. I don't think this thing has ever been taken apart, honestly. Mighty clean. Still gonna wash it up though. This is the fuel shut off. That works pretty good. I'm not gonna take this apart. Sometimes when you take things like this apart, washers come out, gaskets don't fit right afterwards. It looks like it's pretty smooth, and honestly, this thing looks really clean. I don't see any buildup, any varnish building. It looks very nice. So I guess I'm just gonna wash it up a little bit, scrubber dubber, and see what happens when they throw it back on. I don't think I need to do anything to this. That's rare. Hit her with the old gum out. Let her soak a little bit. Strong stuff. That had to be a record carb clean, even though I really didn't clean the carb. That's where our carburetor is going to go, attached to the engine here, but it's looking like I'm going to need a spacer, which I believe we saw right here. And that matches up with our recoil here, matches perfectly, so that's how that goes on there. So I imagine it's going to go something like something like that. Not a lot of room in these little tiny things. So it's got to go in there like that. Then I need to get my bolt, and you can see on these bolts, so there's one side, it's a little bit tapered, which is this side. So this is the side you want to have pointed out, because otherwise if you rolled it in this way, it wouldn't have enough to secure the carb to the motor. So we need to, actually, hold on a second. Hold on a second. This spacer is going to need to go on there. Like that. There's only one way that can go on there, so that's how that goes on. Wait a second. Okay, yeah, that's right. Just take this off. Feed this through there. If I can get one side started, it'll be a lot easier. Alright, perfect. Got them both started, and we cannot forget about our choke cable, which is gonna go on there just like so. I did see online a lot of people take the airbox off of these things. I don't know why. I have to because I don't have one, and that's just the way it is. Oh, nuts! And we'll put these on here, and that should secure everything in place. There we go. Carburetor is on. Now our choke cable has to hook on something over in this area, which I believe this part is for, definitely. Alright, so how does this fit on there? Looks like, yep, there it is. So that little guy right there. So it's got a little post for it to stick on. The arm slides into that plastic piece, moves the lever like so. So our wire will pull this to open the choke and close the choke. Alright, so perfect. Slide this guy in first, like that. Then we put it on the post. Then we slide the slot through. And then we tighten down this nut here. Yeah, 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 yeah. We're going to make our way over to the throttle assembly, which is dangling a bit here. So it's going to attach, like I said earlier, somewhere like that. As you can see, there's a bolt hole right there. Should have an arm that goes, looks like this thing right here. So this should go into that, somewhere in here. We got a little slot, so that's probably where that goes, on this plastic piece right here. Which way does it go? Does this go in first? Something like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's how it goes. Alright, see if we can move this. Okay, that's maxed out right there. So, might need two hands for this as well. Or maybe I can sneak it through. Hey! Hey! Got it. Alright. This thing needs a major cleanup as well. But we want to make sure she's running first. Otherwise, I'd be looking at buying a new motor for this thing, but hopefully this one works. So we needed to put that arm on before we put the assembly on here. Get that guy started. Come on. No, how did that happen? There. Alright, so now, can I find that spring? I'm not sure what these go to yet. But I'm assuming it is to the non-existing fuel tank, because everything else seems to be in order except for our spring that's supposed to go from here to our assembly. What is that down there? How is that? What is that? What kind of engineering is that? Alright, so I can't find that spring anywhere. I'm not sure I was actually given one. It's not a huge deal. We can probably still start it today, but I looked it up online. It's like $5, so it's not a big deal. But the unfortunate part is I have to wait for shipping. Everything looks to be in good condition, and now we're gonna find a fuel tank to rig up on this thing. I thought about these here. I thought about maybe I could get the spring, take a spring off of one of these and rig it up so I don't have to buy one, and I could also find a gas tank. Now I looked at this gas tank right here, and that looks about perfect size. However, our fuel line is a bit heavy for it. And then I looked over here, I said, hey, I haven't ran this thing in like 2 years, and I kind of already have it taken apart. So look at this. Perfect fuel line, perfect little tank. I think it's a 1 gallon, maybe not even, maybe 3/4 gallon tank. I think that'd be perfect. It's already got a inline fuel filter on it. Put that back on here because this thing is pretty much shot. We ruined that thing at the $1,000 pit bike corn maze race, which is one of my favorite videos, by the way. And if I did something like, so the fuel line's gonna go underneath there. If I attached it somehow, maybe, no, it's gonna have to go like that, maybe. I think I would have enough room to shut the hood if I rigged it up there. And then our fuel line is gonna fit perfect. Look at that. What do you think, Bruce? That's what I thought. And here's how I got my fuel tank hooked up here. It looks a little hodgepodgey, but took some hose clamps. That is solid. Ain't going anywhere. And our fuel line fits perfectly in there. And I can even close the hood. And underneath we have about an inch before we hit the fuel tank. So that works perfect. It would have been a little better if we had our cap up on top, but you're still gonna get most of your fuel staying in there. So looks pretty good. I think all we gotta do now is throw some gas in it and see what happens. There she is. Isn't this little thing awesome though? It's pretty much the matching sled to this one. This is a 99. I think this is a 99 or 2000, but my nephews are gonna love it because they're gonna have pretty much a matching sled to mine, and it's gonna be so cool. I'm really excited. I hope we can get it running. We got the spring. We're gonna throw it on. I'll show you where it goes. I believe the meaty end goes on this side, and then it attaches to, hard to see in here, but that hole right there. Perhaps it goes underneath. Spring attached. Let's see if we can put some gas in this bugger and get it running. Uh-oh. We got gas spilling? Where's that coming from? Cut it out. Rip the gas line off. Plug that sucker, but I don't have anything within reach to plug it. So that's handy. And you guys are just watching me here, not helping. Ah, come on. Gas all over my hands. Friggin' mess. What a friggin' mess. Now would be a good time to take a short break for our sponsors. Our sponsor for this video is Super Tech De-icer. A terrible product at a terrible price. Alright, fuel line is back on. And I'm not seeing any more gas leakage. Here it is, moment of truth. Whoa! Let's ease off the choke a little bit. No way! No way! Doesn't like throttle too much, but she's been sitting for a while. It's gotta take a little bit of time to wake up. Whoa! Now I gotta figure out the throttle situation because it's not quite working. We can find something to put under the grab bar in the back. We can free spin the track and see a little bit more. Ah, perfect. Yes. Oh boy. when I pull the throttle, it's not, the spring is not quite giving it the goose, the power that it needs. So I think it's in the spring. I think we just need a stronger spring. I went down to the hardware store, I got this spring right here. And I'm gonna have to rig it a little bit differently because I only got it hooked to one of the hose clamp grooves there. But what this does now, check this out. Pull the throttle, it pulls it back to idle when it needs to. So we got throttle open, pulls it back to idle. Throttle open, idle. So that's how it should be. Instead of getting stuck right here where the throttle's just either wide open or not pulled enough to keep it going because of this weak spring, it actually brings it back to where it should be. So now if I were to start it up, give it some throttle. Perfect. Like that. And our problem is solved. So I am going to have to fix up that spring a little bit better just so that I know it's safe for the kids, but we got it running.